As a kid who grew up in San Antonio part of my life, I'm ready for David Robinson to run in here with that song. Instead, it's just Brooks David.
Yeah, neon lights flashing and all kind of stuff in here.
You're also about 12 inches shorter than him, too. Anyway, welcome into Acadiana's Morning News. I'm Rob Kirkpatrick with Bernadette Lee. As you heard today, it's going to get up to 83 degrees with rain towards the end of the week, so get your
Spring
stuff
is here.
done today.
Enjoy the next 2 weeks, because then comes summer.
The news we have been working on so far today in Evangeline Parish, where schools are closed due to an uptick of threats. We told you yesterday morning, actually broke the story right here on KPEL about the Ville Platte High School threat that happened online. We heard yesterday an arrest was made, and kudos to law enforcement there for that. So, Trooper, we know that threats at schools are nothing new, but after an incident like we had in Florida last week, every threat has to be taken seriously.
Yeah, anytime, whether it was the Florida incident or not, anytime a threat is made via computer of harming students, shooting students or stabbing students, whatever it might be, law enforcement is going to take that seriously. It was put on social media for everybody to see, and people need to realize that you leave a digital footprint whenever you do something like that. Our law enforcement partners got together, Ville Platte PD, State Police, our federal partners with the FBI, and was able to track that footprint and make an arrest fairly quickly. So people need to know whether you're doing it as a joke or what have you, it's going to be taken seriously and you're going to be arrested. You see a young teenager that's going to face the consequences, and hopefully they're stiff and swift.
That's what we were talking about the fine.
Yeah, because in Tangier Hill Parish yesterday, we heard the figure we saw for, was it 2 different people who were arrested there?
Yeah, so there's 3 different people, and then the 2 that they were talking about that they know was a false threat. 1 girl, 1 guy.
Yeah, and that fine was $15,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you get charged with terrorizing, you're looking at 15 years, up to 15 years in prison, with or without hard labor, and up to a $15,000 fine. So, obviously it's up to the court systems on that, but that's what you're facing. And in today's times, people have had enough. You can see it on the news. You can see it on the news feeds on Facebook and social media. When you go to these news feeds, people have had enough, and they want these people to be arrested and given the maximum. So, whether you're in front of a judge or you're in front of a jury, you can bet that these people, when it comes time for trial, are going to be pushing for the maximum.
And let's hope.
Yeah. From your point of view, society's a little bit different than from when you grew up, even from when I grew up, and I'm a good bit younger than you.
Hey, man.
Well, I'm just saying. It's worth having perspective. And yet, we see people who say, look, we had rifle training in school. We had a range on campus. It can't be the access. What has changed? You do a lot of work with high schoolers, especially with sudden impact training. You're around them a lot. Obviously, just your job. You have to be around.
One.
Yeah, you have a teenager. What's different now?
I think society in general has changed. It's come to a point where everything you turn on TV has some type of fighting or killing, video games. I think teenagers today are desensitized to death. When somebody died when I was young, it was tragic. It left an impression on you. Today, it's something that's the norm. I don't know. I remember going to school on the bus and driving up, and shotguns were in the back windows of pickup trucks, and there was never any school shootings. But now it's something. You turn on the TV and people are getting killed, whether it's by guns or drunk drivers or whatever it might be.
Cars plowing into people.
It's like there's an utter disrespect for life anymore.
There's no respect for life. And, you can go to the court system any day and,
Yeah, and you get a picture of what people are willing to do to each other, basically.
That's right.
It's awful.
And, I hate to put it like this, but, and what happened in Florida was was tragic, very tragic. And you had, all those kids killed. But, the same thing happens every day on our highways with drunk drivers. We have more teenagers killed in motor vehicle crashes and by drunk drivers, but I don't see people hollering and screaming about, the people who killed them. And you go to court and some people don't even get jail time. So I think we need to look at the whole system, whether it's life in general or whether it's the court system and the penalties or whatever it might be. And nobody's calling for a ban of the cars or whatever it might be. I think we need to take a deep look at ourselves as a society in general. And it's not pointing the blame at everybody. I'm looking at myself at this too, and see what's wrong with us as a society and try to change that, because over the years it's changed, and it's changed for the worse. Sometimes change is good, but in this case it's totally messed up.
We talked to a lot of law enforcement officials. We talked to Caleb from Barney's on Friday. You guys are keenly aware of your surroundings at all times and that situational awareness, kind of what's going on. What do you tell your kids that have to go to school every day?
I unfortunately can't keep my kids away from it anymore because of social media. And, I tried it when my young one, I kind of keep them away from it. But my teenager, my 14-year-old, through social media and the news he watches is aware of what's going on. And I try to teach him through the years, whenever we go somewhere, to pay attention to his surroundings and what's going on. And I try to teach him what to do in different situations, if something happens. And you just hope that when that time comes, if it ever comes, God forbid it does, he's able to remember and follow those directions. And it's a shame that a 14-year-old has to think about that in these times.
I'm curious what the kids do, too. So there's active shooter training for law enforcement, but do they do that in schools, too, I wonder?
Well, it seemed like that the Florida high school had something similar.
Like they had something like a program.
Not long ago, but, what we know about what happened there, because the fire alarm was pulled first.
Right.
Guess what? Fire alarm, go. Get out. Run away from the building.
Right.
And then that's...
I know where my sons go. They have lockdowns in different types of scenarios.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, that's a good thing. It's a shame and
that you have to do that.
That our kids even have to go through that.
Yep. Trooper Brooks David, thanks for the work that you do. So good to see state police step up with what was going on in Evangeline Parish to, track down this person. Are they still looking for the person, or has the arrest been made? Do you know?
And I heard yesterday an arrest had been made, but it wasn't just state; it was Ville Platte PD. Yeah. Our partners with the federal government, the FBI, and a whole bunch of different agencies were involved in that. Our analysts in Baton Rouge and stuff. So it was a whole bunch of people involved.
Yeah.
Same as today, and I'm sure in the next couple of days and in the weeks coming, we'll see the same things happen. So.
All right, hope we don't have to talk about this anymore, but if history proves itself to repeat, we will have to talk about school shootings again. 7:24 now. Thanks for coming by.
You have a good day.
Appreciate your time. It's Tuesday, February 20th, 2018. We're back with more Acadiana's Morning News next.